Today I'll be going over some tips for your first time Carnival Cruisers. This summer, a lot of my family is going their first Carnival cruise, and I'm giving them advice and some tips on their first cruise. And I thought to myself, well, probably a good topic for everyone to hear. The first and arguably most important tip, aside from making sure you have the right travel documents, whether it be an ID, a birth certificate, or a passport, be sure to check with Carnival or your travel agent on those details. Aside from that, I would say the most important thing to remember is to make sure to download the Carnival Hub app before you go on your cruise. This is what it looks like. It's very simple here. Go to the App Store, whether you're on Android or iPhone, make sure to download it before you set sail. Actually, download it the moment you book your cruise. This app will pretty much have everything you need on there. It will have the ship map. It lists the events that are going on daily while you're on the ship. Even before you get on the ship, this is how you do your online check-in. What that is basically making sure you have all your travel documents in order, and you are able to choose what time you are checking into the port. The online check-in opens 14 days before your cruise takes off. And if you have a suite room, faster fun, or if you're Diamond or Platinum member of the Carnival, which means you've been on multiple cruises, then you get a check-in 16 days early instead of 14 days early. You want to complete the online check-in the moment it becomes available, whether it's 14 or 16 days. This is where you'll be able to choose the time you board the ship. If you check in exactly on 14 days or 16 days, then you'll be able to choose the earliest check-in time if you want that, because the early check-in times do fill up fast. If you're someone who wants to choose a later check-in time, then it's not that big of a deal to hop on immediately. But if you want to spend the most time on the ship like me, then the moment that opens up, you are checking in and choosing the earliest time possible. And Carnival's pretty strict about enforcing these times. So if you have a 12 o'clock check-in and you show up at 10 o'clock, they're going to make you wait till noon. And that's why it's important to make sure to check this in. You can always show up late, but you can't show up earlier. Maybe even with showing up late, there's a time the ship takes off, so don't be too late. This app is amazing, so be sure to download it. Download it before you go on the cruise, because once you're at sea, then you have to pay for Wi-Fi. And cell service at sea as well. That brings me to the next topic. It's make sure to have your phone on airplane mode. While a lot of ships do have a satellite for your phone to connect to, if you use the cell service via their satellite, then your carrier will charge you typically a lot of money. It is not cheap, so be sure it's on airplane mode. And if you want Wi-Fi or need Wi-Fi for whatever reason, you will have to purchase Wi-Fi on the cruise. It is an extra charge, but it is definitely cheaper than using the satellite. I've heard some horror stories of how high some people's phone bills got because of this. So make sure from the moment you get on the ship to the moment you get back to your home port, have your phone on airplane mode. Once aboard the ship, you may ask, how do I spend money? Well, the ship itself is cashless. They don't take any cash. They don't take credit cards. They don't take debit cards. Day you're on the ship, once your room is ready to go down to your room, and there'll be a little rack on the side with your cruise card in there. And what that is how you will pay for anything while you're aboard on the ship. This is how you'll pay for your drinks. This is how you will pay for spa treatments. Anything that's aboard the ship, you will use this. This is also your room key as well, so be sure to have this handy. And don't worry, if you have brought cash on the ship and you don't want to put a card to this, you could go to guest services, load it up with money. You could buy Carnival gift cards in advance. Again, go to guest services and they'll load it up. Anytime you want to change what debit card or credit card is attached to this cruise card, go to guest services. And I don't know about you, but I know when I get on the ship, the first thing I want to do is get a drink. But typically you won't have your cruise card until a few hours after you get on the boat. It's no big deal. All you need is your room number and they'll charge your account that way. And if you're worried about someone charging your account because of this, Carnival typically has a lot of cameras on board. If you buy a drink at the bar, they'll see a little picture of your face. And if it's somewhere else like the spa where you have to write down your number, again, there's cameras. They typically try to verify this. But that is another good reason to keep an eye on your room charges, because Carnival's pretty good at figuring out, oh, yes, you're telling the truth. We need the date and time that this purchase happened at, and yeah, that person's not you. So they'll refund your money in that case. And if you lose your card, don't worry too much. Go to guest services. They'll deactivate the old one and activate the new one for you. The next one is, if you're never going to buy something on the ship and is it possible to pre-purchase it, then pre-purchase it. Like the Wi-Fi package. If you know you need Wi-Fi, pre-purchase it because it's cheaper to pre-purchase than it is to buy while on the ship. If you drink a lot of alcohol, the alcohol package is cheaper before you get on the ship than it is when you get on the ship. So if it's possible, pre-purchase and you'll save a few bucks. And when it comes to the drink package, for example, or the alcohol package, which Carnival calls the cheer package, the break-even point's about 7 drinks a day. So if you drink more than 7, 8 alcoholic drinks a day, then it'll be worth it. But then again, it is still cheaper if you pre-purchase it for the cruise. But let's say the alcohol package doesn't make sense for you, but you still want to bring something to drink aboard. The only drinks that are free on the cruise is water, apple juice, orange juice, And that's pretty much it. Alcohol, specialty coffees, all those are extra, including sodas. Sodas are extra as well. If you want to save a few bucks and still have sodas, you can bring some sodas aboard the ship. One 12-pack of canned soda per person. So if you have a group of 4 people going on the cruise, you can bring in 4 12-packs of soda for no additional charge. So it's a good way to save a few bucks. It's a similar thing with the alcohol. However, with alcohol, it's one 750 milliliter bottle of wine or champagne per person that's over 21 years old. So you have 2 over 21 in the room and 2 under 21. You can bring 2 bottles of wine. The most bottles of wine you can bring is 2 750 milliliters. That's a good way to save a little money on alcohol and soda if you don't want to get the package. These other ones are good general cruise tips. One of them is joining Facebook for your selling. So for example, I'm going to Carnival Jubilee June 8th of 24. I'm a member of that Facebook group because there's going to be a lot of updates there. Anything on the cruise, it's there. You get to meet people before you go on the cruise. If something happens while on the cruise, you're going to have a extra method of communication. A lot of people actually like to plan events with people on these groups. So it's just a lot of fun. So I definitely recommend joining. There's probably a few people in this group that like to put reminders of maybe final payment dates, events that's going on the ship, tips. It's another good source of information. Another big one I like to do is bring medicine aboard the ship. One, I like to bring liquid IV because if I drink a lot of alcohol, it helps with the hangover. But also bring Tylenol, some cold and flu medicine, ibuprofen, motion sickness medicine, the most important one, just in case you get motion sickness. But if you buy some of these medications on board the ship, it gets very expensive very quickly. So if you bring these medications with you, you potentially save a lot of money. And then if you do get sick while on the cruise, hopefully you don't, you have a quick fix. You have medicine to start taking right away so you can start feeling better sooner. The big common ones are motion sickness and allergy medicine. You can go into other countries, you just don't know how your body's going to react. You're probably not going to get sick, but again, you're visiting a foreign country. Who knows what your body's going to do? So it's better to be prepared. Most rooms on any cruise line don't have very many plugs in their room. Some of the older ships only have 1 plug. Some of the newer ships have 2, 3, maybe 4. And when I say 4, I mean like 2 USB ports and 2 110 outlets. So be sure to bring a non-surge protected adapter. And I emphasize on non-surge protected. The ship's wiring is a little bit different than what is on land. And surge protected adapters and extension cords are not allowed. So you have to make sure they're non-surge protected, otherwise it will be confiscated. And if you're wondering where a good place to get one of those, I have the Amazon link down below to the ones that I use when I go cruising. Comes in real handy when you have 3, 4 people to a room and everyone's trying to charge their device at the same time. I like it cold when I sleep, so also bring a fan too. So that's another plug, another thing to plug in and charge. So to me, these adapters are a must-have. Another thing to remember is I like to get back to port an hour early. The reason for this is the ship has an all-aboard time. And if you don't make it back to port by the all-aboard time, they will leave you. So just because you don't make it back to the ship at the time they said it to be back by, whether it be 4 o'clock, 30 o'clock, whatever it is, they'll make it very clear. If you don't make it by that time, they will leave you. So be sure to have that time memorized and down. Another thing to keep in mind in general is itinerary changes. I know a lot of people have a fear of, I don't want to cruise because hurricanes may happen, storms may happen. Well, especially with hurricanes, these are huge storms, slow moving, and the ship is mobile. They will actually just move out the way. If a hurricane's coming, they'll sail around it, they'll speed up, slow down, whatever they need to do to avoid it. So the ship may get a little rocky one of these days. In worst case scenario, you may miss some ports, but the ship will always sail to a safe place. Your safety is a priority. Those are just some of the tips I have for first-time Carnival Cruisers. Stay tuned for more tips just like this. And if you want a sneak peek at what your Carnival cruise ship looks like, I have ship tour videos of several Carnival cruise ships. Be sure to check them out.